Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Ukraine's bid to join the European Union has been given a major boost with a recommendation that it be granted candidate status. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said in a statement that in its defence against Russian aggression, Ukraine had demonstrated the country's aspiration and the country's determination to live up to European values and standards. However, she said the country needed certain reforms to be carried out as a condition of candidate status. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange's extradition to the US has been approved by the UK Home Secretary Priti Patel.
Well, it's great to smell fresh air.
The Home Office said Mr. Assange had 14 days to appeal the decision. It said the courts found that extradition would not be incompatible with his human rights and that while in the US he will be treated appropriately. Mr. Assange is wanted by the American authorities over documents leaked in 2010 and 2011. Responding to the order, WikiLeaks said it was a dark day for press freedom and British democracy. 3 people have been shot, 2 of them fatally, inside a suburban Alabama church in Vestavia Hills. The shooting happened at St. Stephen's Episcopal Church in Vestavia Hills. The city of some 40,000 people is about 7 miles southeast of Birmingham. A suspect who hasn't been identified was in custody following the attack. Police did not speculate on a motive for the rampage. The lead Republican negotiator for what would be the US Senate's first gun control bill in a generation has walked out of talks with Democrats
on what will be additional costs that Congress will have to vote on.
Texas Senator John Cornyn has played a key role in drafting the framework of a proposed firearms bill following mass shootings in Texas and New York. The plans include tougher checks for buyers under the age of 21 and cracking down on illegal gun purchases. The proposals have shown some rare cross-party cooperation on the issue of gun control, but still fall far short of what many Democrats and activists have been calling for. Police say protesters in India have set fire to train coaches as demonstrations against a new military recruitment process raged for a second day. Hundreds of protesters torched train coaches in the eastern state of Bihar and the southern city of Secunderabad, causing widespread damage and disrupting rail services. It's after Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government announced an overhaul of the recruitment process for the 1.38 million strong armed forces, aiming to bring in more people on short 4-year contracts to lower the overall age of personnel. Opposition parties and some members of Modi's own party say the system will lead to more unemployment. Hundreds of firefighters have kept battling the flames of a wildfire in Catalonia that has raged over 1,070 hectares. After battling the flames for 2 nights, emergency services managed to control 3 wildfires in the east of Spain, but are still struggling to stabilise the wildfire near the town of Baldomar. Hundreds of firefighters were on the ground battling the blazes with 120 trucks and 21 aircraft to fight the flames. Members of the emergency military unit joined the efforts to tackle the advance of the fire in Baldomar, where flames threatened 20,000 hectares of woods and farmland. A total of more than 1,600 hectares of pines and bushes have burned in the area so far. Outdoor public events have been banned in an area of France as a record-breaking heatwave sweeps across Europe. Concerts and large public gatherings have been called off in the Gironde department around Bordeaux. Parts of France hit 40 degrees Celsius earlier in the year than ever before, with temperatures expected to peak on Saturday. Spain, Italy and the UK are also experiencing high temperatures. And finally, dancing devils have performed in the streets of Venezuela as part of an old rite celebrating Corpus Christi, where dancers vow to the Holy Sacrament in exchange for blessings. To the sound of drums and rattles, the red-clad devils danced through the streets and received blessings from the local clergy as they sought to repay the favours the Holy Sacrament grants them. The devils of Yare are the oldest of their kind on the American continent. The celebration has been making an appearance on the streets for over 300 years, and UNESCO included Venezuela's dancing devils on its list of intangible cultural heritage in 2012. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.